A Star League player who was on our team's radar may have thrown away the golden chance to wear our jersey. This player's actions have completely alienated the board, but there's a genius detail behind this. Our general manager used a master strategy to avoid a disaster in the locker room and keep the group fully protected. The first week of our training camp was intense, and backstage decisions will completely change the course of the Washington Commanders in 2026. This evolution of our offense was only possible because 3 big winners outperformed the competition in these first days of training. They dominated the drills, secured their spot on the main team, and are ready to surprise everyone. But while they shined on the field, a giant drama was unfolding behind the scenes. But first, please like the video. It's just a click, and it helps me a lot to keep bringing the truth about the Commanders to you. Brandon Aayuk has been making life difficult for his current team's coaching staff and management for years. Unless a surprising turnaround occurs, he will never play another game for his coach's team, not even with the large number of injuries at the wide receiver position. Aayuk has been unilaterally trying to force his exit, with the Washington Commanders being his preferred destination. In the meantime, he severed ties with former allies, even publicly criticizing the Commanders' quarterback. Interestingly, this may be why the Commanders might no longer be interested in his services. According to information from an ESPN journalist, that opportunity may have definitively passed. There has been a noticeable cooling of interest from the Commanders following Aayuk's social media posts last month, including some direct criticism of the quarterback. The Commanders' general manager downplayed the impact of social media on the decision to sign a player. On the other hand, Aayuk's case is concerning and cannot be easily ignored. As the general manager said last week, speaking without referring to anyone in particular, he generally does not take a player's social media posts into account when deciding whether to sign them. And he emphasized this with another, generally, making it clear that there are exceptions. Aayuk is a talented player, but he's been away for a long time and has caused a lot of chaos. Even if he is released and the Commanders manage to mitigate the risk, they should have serious doubts about welcoming him with open arms in their locker room. As a fan, I see this as a situation where the general manager is being wise to distance himself from a player who could bring internal problems. Locker room chemistry is crucial to the success of any team, and bringing in someone who publicly criticized the quarterback could jeopardize everything. After a disastrous 5-12 season in 2025, Washington is ready to turn things around and return to the form of 2024, which took the team to the NFC Final. With a healthy Jaden Daniels and a revamped defense, there are 3 clear winners after the first week of training. Chig Okonkwo was signed for 3 years, and the plan for his usage became clear from the start. When recruiting him, the coach explained how he intended to use him in the passing game, including in specific deep plays. Now, after the first week of training, this vision is becoming a reality on the field. Okonkwo stated that since the preseason training and with a broader playbook, he has been able to use his speed on the field much more frequently. He's moving around a lot and creating opportunities for himself. With the ongoing debate about who will be the second receiver, Okonkwo has been carving out his own role in the offense, distinct from the other receivers on the team. The offensive coordinator must utilize the tight ends in a wide variety of crossing and mesh routes, allowing Okonkwo and the other tight ends to become true weapons in the offense. The competition for the kicker position remains fierce between 2 candidates. Both Moody and Stevens made all 6 field goals during the July 30th practice. But Stevens continues to impress coaches with his long-distance kicking ability. Washington already knows Moody's limitations, so if Stevens can overcome them, it wouldn't be a big surprise for him to earn the roster spot over Moody. In his 3rd year in college, Stevens converted a 54-yard kick. In his last season, he raised his personal best to 55 yards and then to 58 yards. Over his 4 college seasons, Stevens converted 12 field goal attempts of over 50 yards, an impressive record. Nick Cross joins the team from his hometown with a 2-year contract. A native of Bowie, Maryland, he joins the team with great enthusiasm. His athleticism was evident during the first week of training, as he moved all over the field. Thanks to his physical playing style, he fits perfectly into the vision the new defensive coordinator has for the defensive players and the secondary. The former Maryland star has stood out on the field, making life very difficult for the opposing offense. Cross's versatility and instinctive approach can make a big difference on defense. He demonstrated weaknesses in coverage last season with his previous team, but his ability to impact the running game represents a solid foundation to build something even better. If the 2024 Washington Commanders existed to revitalize the long unfortunate organization, the 2025 season, with its evil twin, ensured that the ravenous fan base would never underestimate the mere possibility of a miracle. Nothing seemed to go right for the team, which saw its previous 12-5 record turn into a 5-12 campaign. A preseason dedicated to trying to build good momentum with the signing of veterans soured when the new players showed their advanced age. This resulted in a collapsing defense and a once powerful offense that became inefficient. A tougher schedule brought everyone back to reality, but no one fell from the NFL fame train as dramatically as star quarterback Jaden Daniels. He left almost all spectators wanting more, yielding to the expectations that he and his context inevitably raised. Jaden Daniels was projected as exactly the type of quarterback that both annual draft fantasy football players and Dynasty League participants would feel comfortable betting their future on. A dual threat, offering interest both in the air and on the ground. Just as he did during his college tenure, where he won the Heisman, the slender quarterback threw and ran to success as a rookie in the NFL. He accumulated 3,568 passing yards and 891 rushing yards during that historic season. After that iconic debut, he totaled 31 touchdowns, but nearly all aspects of his game regressed last fall. The fact that he seemed to be under pressure more often than normal the second time around was relevant, thanks to a predictable offense and an apathetic defense. The drop in his passing accuracy rate was concerning, seeming directly linked to his inconsistency on deep throws and the instability in the receiving corps. As if the drop of nearly 30 yards per game wasn't concerning enough, his statistical success on the ground suffered an even more drastic decline. His ability to extend plays, arguably the most memorable attribute he showcased during that rookie season, took a significant hit. These numbers per game don't even take into account his limited availability. He struggled quite a bit last year, missing nearly all games after Week 7, and finishing outside the top 30 fantasy quarterbacks just a few months after being in the top 5. The franchise pillar of the Commanders would not be the first prodigy to be quickly humbled by a drop in performance in their second year. The offensive weapons that Daniels had at his disposal during that miraculous 2024 campaign didn't exactly promise long-term stability. Key starters never replicated their performance after that season, while suddenly needed options did little to inject new life into a practically stagnant offense. There are still doubts about the WR2 position after McLaurin on the Washington roster, but the talent available to Daniels inspires confidence that they will have more passing options. The impressive rookie is already catching attention, while Okonkwo is poised to fill the gap left by a previous tight end. Additionally, a new offensive coordinator takes over from the previous one, bringing new ideas and approaches. He observed the Commanders' reluctance to change player positioning during offensive plays and sees the increased threats in the ground game and routes as an opportunity for Daniels to create more interesting scoring plays. In fantasy football, touchdowns in the red zone are highly valued, and it was precisely there that Daniels and company shone as the exciting rookies who repeatedly surprised opponents. He hit an impressive percentage of passes within the 20-yard line, certainly better than the mark he achieved during his abbreviated stint in 2025. It is here that the changes made by Washington in the offseason could improve Daniels' chances of regaining the trust of fantasy football players. Much of his effectiveness in this regard is due to his ability to create decisive plays. The Commanders seem to have prioritized this significantly in their signings. Many of the immobile players were released, and defensive improvements have arrived, preventing him from needing to work as hard to overcome scoreboard disadvantages. Fans can expect more impactful plays on both sides of the ball, which should contribute to Daniels' return to relevance in fantasy football. The training period, with its low stakes, offers practically nothing beyond confirmation of expectations. But Daniels certainly seems energized throwing passes to an eager McLaurin and his hungry backup receiving group. Should the Commanders prove the skeptics right, and with improvement return to a winning season, fantasy football investors will also reap the rewards with Daniels' versatile scoring package. So, fan, after discovering how Brandon Aayuk might have lost his chance with the Commanders, understanding who the 3 big winners of the first week of training camp were, and knowing that the changes made by the team could boost Jaden Daniels' value in fantasy football, which of these situations makes you feel more hopeful or concerned?